A thought is harmless unless we believe it. It's not our thoughts, but our attachment to our thoughts that causes suffering. Attaching to a thought means believing that it's true without inquiring. A belief is a thought that we've been attaching to, often for years. Have you heard that 90% of our thoughts are not our own? Well, you might be wondering, whose are they then? Our parents, our teachers, our families, our friends, and especially our media, social and otherwise. When I first began to hear about this concept, I really became astounded at the implication of this notion. Why would I allow any of these outsiders into my head? Well, in the very beginning, it's not our choice. Although we are born into a state of pure consciousness, our minds all get conditioned by all the other conditioned minds. Our parents, families, friends, media, and all the rest. Our thoughts are just a recycling of all the thoughts that have been conditioned into our mind. Hence why I mentioned at the top of this video that 90% of our thoughts are not our own. And that includes our beliefs, which are our thoughts that we hold to be true. And our beliefs can be very limiting. I'll never be good enough. I'll never be successful. I'll never be rich. I'll never have a good relationship. I'm too ugly. I'm too short. I'll never be thin enough. When I was at the very beginning of my professional performing career, I'd been cast in a chorus line. I was so excited. I was only 18 years old and I hadn't even graduated high school yet. I went to the open call, and after making it through the final cut, I got it. I got the job. However, shortly after, I also got the news that I had 2 weeks to lose 10 pounds or Michael Bennett would fire me. Already having a very negative and limiting belief around my body, I told myself, don't panic. There was absolutely no way that I was going to be fired from my first major professional job. So overcoming this belief was not as difficult as the ones that keep you from attracting the job of your dreams in the first place. There are lots of juicy details around the experience of getting a chorus line that are perfect examples of overcoming a series of limiting beliefs that could have easily stood in the way of me getting this job. Establishing a desirable outcome without really being attached to it is pretty high on the list of things that we can do. Losing my first major professional job was not an option, so coming to that conclusion was pretty easy. I was not going to be fired.
5, 6, 7, 8!
Before the audition, I had decided to play hooky from school that morning, and instead of getting wrapped up in the fear of what would happen if I got caught by telling myself, don't do it, I went anyway. We often talk ourselves out of the action that could produce the desired outcome, and I'm not telling everybody to break rules, but I am encouraging you to not overthink the impressions that your own intuition and divine wisdom is orchestrating towards the fulfillment of your desires. Remaining in your heart and not in your head will usually direct you towards how the universe is conspiring on your behalf. It takes courage. Remember or refer to the first episode in this series. Love and fear. What often keeps us from what we want the most is fear. We always need to pay the price for what it is we're asking for. Now ask yourself one question. Is the limiting belief true? Now in regards to me getting in trouble for playing hooky, it was only true if I got caught, which was a risk I was willing to take. And the reality is that if I would have never gone to the audition, I would have never gotten the job. So that was a risk that I was willing to take and pay the price for.
In a world that's changing so quickly, the biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk.
Now the limiting belief of my body's image is another example to examine, and had been something that I've been working on for quite some time. And because I was so excited about going to the audition, I was able to ignore the habitual response that I would have normally used to talk myself out of going by thinking that I was overweight. The key is to stay in the excitement of the possibilities, not the fear of the limiting belief. Now to prove a very important point, the person who had told me that I had to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, although he was placing Michael Bennett's condition on me, I had already adopted it to be true. So I had to take responsibility for that response because he was just playing the dialogue I had already been hearing over and over again in my head Another dangerous thought that I had adopted as something I had held to be true based on the conditions of others. I had been working a lot on my weight, but obviously still had more work to do. His condition helped put a little fire underneath my butt to shed the last remaining pounds that were needed to not sabotage my future. All thoughts are not created equal. The ones that have a never attached to it are the most dangerous. I will never be smart enough. It's finite. There is no room for change. I know that if I read more, study more, learn more, I can improve my intelligence, which can change my limiting belief. So some thoughts are there to motivate us. It is up to you after close examination to decide what kind of thought it is. There is no way to engage in a conversation surrounding all the ideas about limiting beliefs in this one episode. But I hope that we were able to spark a conversation and dialogue about this topic. Please leave a comment below if I've said something that resonates with you, or could help you move through your own personal limiting beliefs. Our next discussion in this series will be about rejection and hearing no to make way for the yes. So until the next time, bye for now. Hey everybody, thanks for watching that video. If you haven't joined this community yet, please subscribe to this channel and click that little bell just so that you never miss a conversation. This is a dialogue, not a monologue, so please comment below, join the discussion, and remember, life is only as good as we make it. Bye for now.